Want to travel through time? You do not need a flux capacitor. You just need English compound tenses. These tenses allow you to discuss very specific moments in time, from the past to the future. They allow you to discuss events that were finished years ago, or events that will be continuing for years and years. Whether you're telling stories, making plans, or just chatting about your day, you will need compound tenses to communicate like a native speaker would. Fortunately, understanding compound tenses is not nearly as complicated as building a time machine. I'll walk you through 9 English compound tenses and show you when and how to use each one correctly. But first, what are simple tenses in English? Events can occur either in the past, in the future, or right now, in the present. A verb's tenses will help us figure out at what time the action of the verb took place or will take place. You may already be familiar with the English simple tenses. These are often the first ones that English language learners encounter. The simple present tense generally describes the action that is happening right now. There is no auxiliary or helping verb, just the action verb. Just like, I sing, or she sings. The simple past tense describes a complicated action that happens in the past. Again, there is no auxiliary verb. For example, I sang. She sang. And last, but not the least, the simple future tense describes an action in the future. But this time you need the auxiliary verb, that is, will, along with your action verb in the infinitive form. For example, I will sing, or she will sing. Easy, right? Now we are ready to see what makes English compound tenses different. Compound tenses are basically modifications to the simple tenses that gives more specific information about when the action occurred, started, or completed. Think of the simple tenses as a starter deck of a card game, and the compound tenses as the new and latest expansion pack. As you will see next, a compound tenses always requires the auxiliary verb. To have. To be, in addition to the action verb. For example, listen to the next sentence in this video, where a man explains what it's like to fall out for love.
It was the saddest text I have ever gotten in my life.
The first verb is in the simple past tense, and should look quite familiar to you. The second, have gotten, is a compound tense that provides deeper information about this person's past. After this video, we will upload some other videos that will consist exercises and worksheets where you can practice to make sure you are understanding them. So let's get started. The present continuous tense is used to denote an event that is currently taking place. If you wish to talk about things as they are happening, you should use this tense. For example, if someone asks, "What are you doing?" you will typically need to answer in the present continuous tense. To form this tense, you need the auxiliary verb, to be, conjugated for your subject in the simple present tense, I am, he is, you are, etc. Then, add the suffix ing to your action verb. So let me answer that question. I wanted to describe my profession as it's happening. My action verb is do, and my subject is I. I could say, I am doing job. The verb to be is conjugated in the simple present tense for I, and we added ing to the verb do. As you will see throughout this video, the ing suffix is a good indicator that you are in a continuous tense, meaning the action is continuous, ongoing, still happening. In the following examples, keep your eye out for the auxiliary verb and the ing suffix that modifies the original verb. I am writing a letter to Marta. Rowan is watering the plants. They are sleeping in the guest room. You are not paying attention in class. We are playing a video game. This tense is used to describe ongoing actions. The action might be finished or might still be continuing, depending on context, as you will see next. To form this tense, you need to use the verb conjugated for your subject to the simple present tense. I have, she has, they have, etc. Then you need the past participle form of the action verb. Cabrillo College has a helpful list of past participle for the common verbs. Its link is in description below. And it's free to download. Here is an example with the action verb choose. The past participle of choose is chosen. You have chosen the right video. The next tense you will often hear used with words like just, to explain precisely when a recent event happened. I have just eaten my lunch. You can also use this tense with since, plus, specific point in time, or for, plus, length of time, to explain how long something has been true. She has felt sick for 3 days. They have been friends since 2010. Here are more examples. Keep an eye out for the auxiliary verbs and past participles. I have just finished my research paper. They have lived in this apartment since before I was born. Mickey has visited already. This compound tense is used to denote an ongoing or continuous action that started a while ago. For example, if you were having a lazy Sunday watching TV all day long, you might use this tense to describe your day. For this tense, you need to use the auxiliary verb to have, followed by been and then ing to the action verb. Here is how it would work with the verb to crave, which means to want something very badly, particularly food. I have been craving ice cream all week. Here are some more examples. I have been binge watching Doctor Who all day. You have been missing work lately. We have been working tirelessly in this project. Laura has been writing the company newsletter for a while. We discovered that they have been stealing from the office. This tense is used to represent an action that was ongoing for a while, but has finished. The action is not happening right now, but it was happening in the past. Think of this as the way you recall a vivid memory. The events have already taken place, but you are remembering them like a film that is being played in front of you. To use this tense, you need the auxiliary verb, to be, and you add the ing suffix to the action verb. For instance, I can say, I was singing at the concert last night. This means that although I have finished singing now, there was an extended period last night when I was singing. Here are some more examples. Sheila was playing the flute all day. They were laughing at his jokes non-stop. You were eating a pizza when I saw you. The water was boiling, so I knew it was time to put the pasta in. The past perfect is used to describe actions that were finished before another event took place. Similar to the present perfect, we use the past participle of our action verb but place had before it. If you were telling a story, and you wanted to set the scene to explain what happened before the main action of the story, you could say something like, I had gone to bed when I heard a strange noise at my door. Gone is the past participle of the verb to go. Of course, I heard is in the simple past tense. You will often see these two tenses, the past perfect and simple past, paired together in this way. Here are some more examples. I had tried the violin, but quickly stopped practicing. Royal had dozed off when the bell woke her up. They had eaten their dinner before the stranger arrived. We had completed the picture in the morning, so we went to the park in the evening to relax. This tense is similar to the past perfect, but the word continuous should give you a clue as to how it is different. Use this tense to describe ongoing actions that have already been completed at some point in the past. For example, if you wanted to talk about a bad habit that you no longer have, you might use this tense. To form this tense, we first use had, then been, and finally add the ing suffix to the action verb. Not the difficult, ha. We will use the bad habit example. Our action verb is to smoke. I had been smoking so many cigarettes my doctor told me I had no choice but to quit. The next few examples should make this even more clear. You had been skipping class for over a week before the school called your parents. They had been drinking on the sly until Max caught them. Vin had been making a toy cart when her brother returned home. We had been working overtime for over a month until the manager promised us a pay rise. This tense is used to denote an ongoing action that will only be completed much later. The action has not even happened yet. but we are expecting it to happen. If you wish to talk about your life plans or projects you have coming up, you would likely use the future continuous tense. To write in this tense, we usually begin with will be and then add the ing suffix to the action verb. Here is an example with the verb to sing. I will be singing at the concert tomorrow evening. I am talking about a continuous action that has not taken place in the present moment. Here are some more examples to understand how the future continuous looks. He will be studying math when he starts college. They will be headlining the major music festival next month. We should leave now. The roads will be getting icy soon. We use this tense to talk about an action has not taken place yet as though it had been completed. In other words, we are looking forward to when a particular action or event will be finished. For example, you might use this tense when making a promise to someone or when setting a deadline on a project. To form this tense, use will followed by have and then add the past participle form of the action verb. Here is an example that you might remember from your school days. Mom, I will have finished my homework before I go to the movies. Again, if you notice, there are two events happening in the sentence, finishing homework and going to the movies, and the future perfect is the one that will be completed first. Here are some more examples. Let's meet at noon. I will have submitted my report by then. He will have eaten his pizza before the rest of the group shows up. We will have built this house by the time our children are in school. Finally, we use this tense to talk about a continuous event that has already started and is expected to last until a certain point in future. In other words, the action will be continuing until or before another event takes place. For this tense, we again use will have followed by been and ing to the action verb. For instance, I could say, by 9, I will have been waiting here for 2 hours. This means that the action of waiting is taking place both in present and in the future, until 9. These examples will give you an idea about the context in which the future perfect continuous is usually used. By next spring, you will have been living in this town for 5 years. We will have been working here for June months on December. By the end of this year, they will have been playing as a rock band for over a decade. The best way to improve your English compound tenses is to speak and write on a variety of topics using all the different tenses. Try keeping a diary where you can talk about yourself, the things you do or the events of the day. You can also record yourself discussing what happened this week and what your plans are for the future. Do not just stick to the simple tenses, but try to use each of the compound tenses as the circumstances seems fit. Or if you are reading a book or an article, try to spot the compound tenses being used for different contexts. Create a study plan that also is in the description below. Make a list of all participles and auxiliary verb and mix them up. Above all, do not be afraid of making mistakes and trust in yourself. With the help of this video, the English compound tenses will eventually be second nature to you. Before you go, thank you for watching this video. Help others by sharing this video. And don't forget to subscribe. Until the next video, sleep well, eat well and live well. Bye-bye.